Alrighty guys, welcome back to Winds of Change. I take one step towards keeping my eyes on the mysterious object. As soon as my foot lands on the ground, pain courses through my body. I'm brought to my knees. It's almost like it's slowly draining my energy. When it subsides, I stand back up, but the desire hasn't gone away. I need to get closer. I need to know exactly what this thing is. My burning curiosity trumps any care for my own well-being. Even though I object to such a mindset, I keep moving forward. It's almost like my body is moving on its own without my input. Is this the music that should be playing? Because it feels like it for some reason feels like it broke on the start screen music. But maybe it is the music that's supposed to be playing, and maybe I'm just going crazy. Wait. No, I'm not going crazy. There's two hold on. There was a second instance of the game up. There was a second instance of the game up in the background. Boy, that was a cheery sound. It's fine, I fixed it. You take care, Darkblade, and also hello, Dashy. Welcome on in. It looks like I can't really interact with anything else around me. Wow, that was a really exciting moment. It was very, very wow. I take another step, and the pain returns to my body, but this time, it's worse. I'm brought to my knees, and I can't seem to get back up. It's tearing me apart. I pant heavily, unable to move as it continues to harm my spirit.
Stop.
Oh, hello, Triumvirate. I immediately fall to the ground as I hear the voice from behind me. But it's not a bad thing, as I gain full control over my body. Whatever was controlling me, they had put a stop to it. I turn around and take steps towards them, grateful. I could tell the farther away from that object I was, the better. But when I reach this mysterious person, I'm not prepared for what I see.
It's almost instinctual now. Interesting. Sorry for not being here right away. I didn't know you'd come so fast. That means things have slowed down on your end. I see.
Also, I owe this for Darlinor. I just remembered. The Triumvirate. I can tell right away. Or at least one of them, since I only see one cloak before me. I start to panic and reach for the Blade of Exodus.
No.
Okay. They wave their hand forward, and I can no longer move. Letting out a chuckle, they start walking towards me.
Even now, corruption grows within you. It can flow from the most noble of actions. But is that corruption what you truly want? There is no way to discern the consequences of your actions. You act instinctively, much like before. You do what you think is right. But what is right, and what is pure? Well, those are two different things.
They strike a pose, as if they're lost in thought.
You know who I am, or at least, what I belong to. I speak not for the triumvirate, but of my own accord. Not that this would go against the wishes of my subordinates.
Subordinates? Does this mean I'm in the presence of the triumvirate's leader?
That power within you is a truly wonderful thing. So much strength, gifted to you by the realm of spirits. But you have to ask yourself, is it truly a gift? Do you act in Lestia's best interests, or in the spirits? Until now, everyone around assumed that you were alive. But things are changing. They're starting to make a push.
I strain myself, trying to move, but to no avail. Whatever they've done, they've taken over control of my body.
What purpose is your journey if it ends in complete corruption? Keep that in mind as you stride forward, and make those tough choices. Many of them breed corruption. The pursuit of strength, for example. Before you go, I did call you here for one purpose.
They motion to the idol at the back of the room before waving their arm. As the ability to move returns to my body, I stumble, failing to balance myself. How is it possible to do this? Can they manipulate spiritual energy without the blade? Why are you saying sorry, DroidTube? But welcome on in. Oh my god. I regain my balance and immediately turn to look at the idol.
It's beautiful, isn't it? There's never been a more pure form of corruption. You seek to dethrone us. Isn't that your goal? In that case, remember one thing.
They tilt their head, and though I can't see their face, I assume they're smiling. With a final wave of their hand, I collapse to the ground and my vision fades away.
The only thing that can destroy pure corruption is purity itself, embodied.
Dun dun dun! Also, hello, Firework. Nah, you're fine, DroidTube. I hope you have a good sleep. How you doing, Firework? I do. It's been a while. I hear their words, but I seem to exist in a void of nothingness. I don't understand what just happened. I'm only left with a multitude of questions. My actions can influence the purity or corruption of the power inside of me. That doesn't make any sense, but then again, maybe that's what they wanted. They'd want to confuse me, to try and push me down a different path. You're fine, you don't have to apologize about that. Of course, they'd want to scare me away from decisions that would harm their reign. You're fine, Noisy. That's good, Firework. I'm glad to hear that you found something that can help you feel better. Or would they? Almost immediately, I find myself back in Peregrino. I got no sleep. And thanks to what just happened, I doubt I would on any other night. The lingering fright that this made happen again was almost crippling. It's such a good game so far. I'm enjoying it. The sun shines through the window, illuminating the room. I can see how covered in dust everything is. Overnight patrons must be rare. As I scan the room, I notice an entire section is dust-free. Vortem is cleaning.
Oh, hey! Good morning, Cirrus. I saw all this dust and couldn't help myself. Sure, it lost me a few hours of sleep, but I don't care.
Of course you don't, Vortem. I kept it a tavern. I kept it a tavern. I didn't make it a barrack.
How about you?
Yeah.
How did you sleep?
And I chose Fortem as the new leader.
Oh, well, I don't blame you. The beds at home are a lot more comfortable. I heard Ulrich talking outside. We're skipping breakfast. When we're all ready, we're heading to Museo. I think you can tell what I'm planning, right? We'll finally be able to share some apples.
That's fair. It was a hard choice, but I kind of more aligned with what Fortem wanted to do over Valessa, even though I like them both. He smiles, and his ears perk up. Skipping breakfast didn't sound all too appealing. But I'm sure Museo would have no shortage of cuisine. Hello, Kasirith. I am. How's your day been going? Oh, was Barracks and Fortem? See, mine was not Barracks, but it was Fortem. Someone knocks on the door to the room a few times. After hearing no objections, they slowly enter the room. It's Valessa, and she lets out a loud yawn before speaking.
Oh, hey, Fortem. I was gonna look for you too. Glad to know I didn't end up wasting time.
Morning, Valessa. Sleep well?
Oh, nice. I'm glad, Kasir. That's awesome.
I suppose so, all things considered. There's a whole host of questions I want to ask. As soon as we meet Domik, I expect to get answers.
You would choose Valessa for everything? That's fair.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Hopefully as the elder, I can get him to talk. It's a bit different when it's a political ally asking.
Makes sense, I guess. Maybe I'll give you my list or something. Then it'll be a matter of Museo-Valenworth relations.
Not a bad idea, actually. Either way, I expect to know a lot more in a few days. I can't wait to meet Domik and the rest of the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah, I get it, Noisy.
So, are you ready to go? Ulrich and Pro are waiting out front. I guess the outlook is pretty close to Peregrino.
I'm good. Unless there's something else we need to do.
They both look at me. I guess it's my choice. It might be a good chance to get some private time with my friends. But Ulrich and Pro could get impatient if we waste time chatting in Peregrino. Either way, I know one thing for certain. I shouldn't... Oh, I don't mean to click that. I shouldn't tell them what happened. The Triumvirate taking me to their chambers, and personally, would they even believe me? I should let it process for a bit longer and see if it happens again before telling anybody. Also, Telru, hello, how are you? Welcome on in, Bean. I pause, and they await my next move. Purity and corruption. Over the course of the game, you will make many important decisions. These will increase a background stat known as purity and corruption. You can monitor these stats on the save screen. Your purity and corruption levels represent how you carry yourself in the world. Important decisions will also test your values as a leader. Your alignment will affect both story and dialogue. You can click on purity corruption icons in the game world for more information. Huh, alright. This party banter is affected by choice to keep Peregrino as a tavern. You can choose to keep Peregrino intact, remaining as a tavern. Okay. Heart-to-heart conversations. When marked with a heart, talking to a comrade starts a special scene. You can only play these once, and your decisions are final. They are scattered throughout the game. You must be done in order. These scenes are key to solidifying friendships and pursuing romance. During a character's heart-to-heart will eventually unlock a loyalty quest. The personal stories of each comrade are just as important as the main quest. Yes. Valessa is walking from one end of the room to another. She looks annoyed. Nice! Nice! Congrats, Drawkill. That's awesome. It could be any number of things, but I decided to talk to her and figure things out. As soon as I approach her, she stops in her tracks and lets out an exasperated sigh.
I can't believe Fortem is in charge now. No offense. My vision for the future of Valenworth was just so clear. But now everything is changing. It's not home anymore. That is, if we can even find a way to save it. You know, reconnecting with the spirits or whatever. I'm starting to think that's quite the tall order. I'm not saying it'd be any simpler if you chose me. It's just... Never mind. I actually don't know what I'm saying. Whatever comes to mind seems to be coming out of my mouth.
I did. I liked the way that Fortem wanted to run things over Valessa's decisions. I made this, and I kept this a tavern. I didn't make it a barracks.
Sorry for rambling on. It's just a lot to take in. But being able to talk about it definitely helps. Thanks, Cirrus. At the end of the day, being able to confide in you is great.
Of course, we'll handle everything together. She blushes and rubs the back of her head with a hand. Shuffling awkwardly in place, I can tell she's flattered.
That's good to hear, Cirrus. Nobody should go through this stuff alone. It's a lot better, feeling like I'm part of a team.
She seems to disregard my advance, so I decide to back off. Perhaps the timing was imperfect. I could always try again later.
Let's not get too far off track, alright?
It's hard to get a read on her next expression, but she shuffles about some more. Taking a few steps away from me, she rests her back against the wall. I step closer towards her, inching ourselves away from Fortem.
What am I going to do? From this point forward, your visions are very important. I doubt that the one you had about Valenworth will be the last. Especially now that this blade is involved in everything.
Noisy.
We need to make an important decision here. Do we involve the rest of Alestia with this stuff? Or do we keep the visions to ourselves, like always? If we start to serve them with our visions, they'll be dependent. After this war is over, they could expect us to keep helping out. Or even worse, people with ill intent could force us to help. Should we keep our roles as secret as possible? Or should we openly tell everybody who we are? This is the first time Cirrus has left Valenworth. We're making history. But what kind of history do we make?
I don't think we should be sharing this with the world. I don't think it's a smart idea. Callie! Callie! Ow! Sauce, okay. Oh, sauce, okay. Oh, okay. Okay! Jesus Christ. Really? Is that the raid message? Oh my god, also Cassie! Ow! Callie, Cassie, welcome on in, Beans. How was your streams? How was Ishin, by the way, Callie? Did you have a fun time? And also, Cassie, how was Bajora's Mask? Oh my god. Okay, I'll take a drink! God! Jesus Christ. Man. Also, Zazel VRC. Ow! Thank you so much for that follow and welcome to the Doggo Den. Welcome in. And guys, if y'all have not heard of me, my name is Screaming Doggo. I'm a variety streamer / screamer, and today we are enjoying some more Winds of Change. It is a lovely visual novel where all the characters are hot as hell, but it's been a fantastic journey so far. It is voice acted and fantastic voicely acted as well. Yes, guys, welcome in. If y'all have not checked out Callie VR or Cassie, please make sure to check both these beans out. Wonderful, lovely, great content. Doggo stamp of approval. Doggo stamp paw beans of approval. How was y'all streams? Did you guys have a good time? How was Ishin, Callie? And also, how was Majora's Mask, Cassie? Please let me know. I would love to know more, guys. It was good? I'm glad.
Yeah, let's keep it contained to the rebellion. Other than that, only if it concerns our cause. Better than putting targets in our heads, right?
Oh, nice. You're getting close to the end.
If everybody saw the potential to cheat the future, I can't even imagine what lengths they'd go to use you, Sirius. We can't offer your gift to everybody. It doesn't work that way.
It would be wise not to. Yay, I got help down again. Woo! Oh. Yeah, some games can definitely be longer than others, but I'm glad you're enjoying it at least.
If we helped as many as we could, we'd leave some out. Trying to help everybody? No, we'd just be picking and choosing. That's the best way to harbor spite, or in some cases, a desire for revenge. Thanks for giving me your advice, Sirius. It's good to have some direction. I was feeling lost. I'm glad to know we can keep working together like this. I know. Trust me, I know. But is this really the time to talk about that stuff? It's not that I'm not interested, it's just timing.
Yeah, I get it.
Maybe I'll feel a bit different once we get to Mazeo. Settling down in the Rebel HQ might make things easier. Right now, there's just so much happening, and we're mobile. It'll take some time before I can think about that stuff. If only the day went by normally. Who knows what would have happened.
She smiles at me, and it seems like she's accepting of my advances. However, the way things were, I understood her exception. It would be better to talk about that stuff later on.
Let's get things moving, alright? Like I said, I have a better sense of direction now. Or at the very least, my mind is more clear. That's all I needed.
Letting out a loud sigh, she starts to walk away. I'm glad I decided to reach out to her like this. A clouded mind could affect her performance. If we wanted to win this, everyone would need to be resolute. I shouldn't miss any opportunity to bond with my friends and comrades. Their survival and future would directly relate to their morale. Alright, and I'll do 4 Tims in just a moment. Randomizer. Ooh. Nice. Nice, Cassie. I'm doing well. We started stream with a chat. Also, I swear to God, Artemis. We started stream with a nice chat, and then I gave chat the option if they wanted to start with Winds of Change and then move into a game that I was offered from Keymailer, or if they wanted to do the Keymailer offer first and then get into this game, and they chose that they wanted to do the ad game first. And so we tried a lovely game called Heist Kitty, and it was fantastic. I enjoyed the heck out of it. Then we had a nice break to watch food videos, and now we're enjoying some Winds of Change. It's been a lovely stream so far. Thank you for sharing your community. Yes, it's called Heist Kitty. I highly recommend it. If you do !ad in the chat, firework like AD, you'll get a link to the Steam page to check it out for yourself. It was very cute. Nah, definitely not comfortable. But you know, neither is all the water in my face. I took a drink! Ow. Good Lord. It was a fantastic time. Good God. It looked like something was bothering Fortem. I approached him and decided to ask what's on his mind. He seemed a little startled, like he was indeed lost in thought.
Oh, hey there, Cirrus. What's wrong? Nothing, really. I'm just thinking about, well, everything. I got a good sleep last night, so that helped. Better than being restless and alone with my thoughts. I'm just thinking about the future a lot right now.
Right, Cassie. Also, hello, Pool. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Just enjoying a lovely visual novel with some very hot characters.
I gotta figure out how to make you proud. As Elder, I mean. Just give me some time to figure stuff out. Then I'll shine. It's not like I can fully adapt to being our leader in one night.
He gives me a nervous laugh before shuffling awkwardly. There's something else on his mind, I can tell. But it's not my place to pry, so I wait for him to speak.
Thanks for letting me sleep here with you, by the way. It helped me process things in my head a little bit more. If it weren't for that, I would have been too scared to think.
Okay, Artemis, that's enough.
Like, what if they attacked in the middle of the night? We all know they'd have to pass by Peregrino first. I was honestly scared we might die here last night. So yeah, thanks a million. But there's one more thing I want to say. Last night, I had a really bad dream. We were making our way down toward Mazeo, but we weren't with Pro and Ulrich. It was our parents. I kept telling them not to go. I knew they wouldn't come back.
He clenches his fist and trembles slightly.
But they didn't listen. They just kept going. I ran until my legs could barely move, and then I ran even more. If I only tried. But they didn't listen. They just kept going. I ran until my legs could barely move, and then I ran even more. It actually felt like I could save them. If I only tried. Eventually, we made it to the gates of Mazeo. Or at least I think they were. I've never actually been there. But this is the worst part. They finally turned to face us. And that's when I realized something shocking. I don't remember what my parents looked like, Cirrus. Their faces were a blur, almost like they were nobody. They started to speak, but I didn't recognize their voices. Has it been so long that I'm forgetting my own parents? I tried so hard to picture them when I woke up. I couldn't.
Oh, Fortem.
When they died, everyone told me they weren't really gone. That they'd live on forever, inside of my memory. But even that's fading, Cirrus. What happens next? Back at the Grand Tree, I said I wanted vengeance. I wanted to take down the Triumvirate to avenge our parents. But this dream was kind of like a wake-up call, you know? Why should I fight for something that doesn't exist? And better yet, something I can't even picture in my head. There are so many reasons to fight, all of them less selfish. So, I think I want to fight for you. I want to make sure that you're safe and you survive this. When it comes to you, the entirety of Alestia is at stake.
He continues to tremble, and I can tell he's fighting back tears. It's almost like this dream is helping him move on from his parents. He's becoming more grounded in reality, in the here and now. I take a few steps forward and wrap my arms around him. He gasps in surprise, and I notice his trembling come to a halt. A few moments later, I feel his arms return the hug, squeezing tight.
I just miss them so much.
Fortem, no. No, don't get emotional. He sniffles softly, like he overcame his imminent tears.
At the end of the dream, when they turned back, I ran toward them and tried to hug them one more time, but I didn't feel anything when I did, and the dream ended. But right now, I'm definitely feeling something, and I know this won't end. I know you're not going anywhere.
He hugs me tighter, and I do so as well.
This is what I need to fight for. The things that are right in front of me, the things that matter, and the things I cherish.
Oh. I nod and let our embrace continue. It seems to last forever, but I don't mind. I'd let it last as long as it needs to, for Fortem. Oh, my heart! Why does this game play with my emotions? Fuck. Wait, what is this? The party banter is affected by your choice. Oh, I see. This takes me back to the room. This takes me out of the room. I've done all of this. Okay. So I guess if I go back out. Oh, is that my save? Okay, I'm gonna save really quick. Okay, so we've done everything there, and then I can take a look at these. You choose to keep Peregrino intact, remaining as a tavern. You elected Fortem as the Elder of Valenorth. Okay. So wait, is it that the shield itself is representing purity and the sword represent corruption? Exactly. After a trek that was longer than expected, we finally reached the outlook. There was a long uphill walk, so my legs are strained and tired. That, along with my lack of sleep, was an unfortunate combination. You take care, Cuddly. Thanks for vibing with us. I hope you have a lovely night.
Well, here we are. Zamira told me you've never been. Take a look down there. What do you think?
He lets out a soft laugh, like he's anticipating our reaction. After a few more steps, we reach the high ground and everything comes into view. The scope of our world and just how small Valenorth really was finally dawned upon us.
Whoa.
That's amazing!
They stop to catch their breath as they run up the hill in excitement. We can see the entirety of Mazeo, and it looks so tiny from up here. But I know it's much larger than Valenorth, so this is hard to comprehend.
That's Mazeo?
Yeah, we can probably reach it in a few more hours. But take a while to enjoy the view. It's really something else. And it's not like we'll be coming back here anytime soon, right?
Yeah.
Pro takes a few steps forward, writing in some kind of journal. He watches Ulrich, not even needing to stare at the paper as he wrote.
And so Ulrich stood at the entrance of the world, enthralled by its beauty. It would seem that his dreams for the future were no less grand than the sight before him. With comrades in tow, they took in the sight together, an unspoken bond slowly forming.
The bond won't last much longer if you keep that up, Pro.
Yikes! It's not like this is my job or anything. You know I'm trying to record all the important moments.
You must be grasping at straws if you're writing about me, then. Focus on the CRS or something. This is the start of her journey.
Dimply Orca, hello. Welcome on in.
Or maybe you could focus on this.
Huh?
We all turn to Fortem, and he's holding out his hand. Inside of the cup, he's formed with them, rests a single crimson leaf. We all turn to Fortem, and he's holding out. Wait. A breeze flows through the area, sending a chill through all of us. Immediately we turn towards Valenorth in awe of what we see. The blood leaves are falling, making their journey through the sky. Carried by the chilling wind, they find their way down to the mainland.
Wow.
This shouldn't be happening, right? The blood leaves don't fall at this time of year.
Oh my God, Ginkaze. How you doing, Dimply Orca?
He's right, everyone. Normally it's too warm for them to wilt and fall. I know what this means. Valenorth is starting to die.
You mean because of the dim spirit idol?
Yeah, I didn't think it would happen so fast. We need to hurry. If we don't do something, our home will...
Ulrich steps forward and rests a hand on Valessa's shoulder.
Don't worry. We'll figure out a way to save your village. We are saving Alestia, and that includes Valenorth.
She nods, and we turn back to stare down at the mainland. For a moment, the falling of the blood leaves was a more beautiful sight. But was this a blessing, or perhaps a portent of bad things to come? Crow remains silent, but continues writing in his notebook. Surely this would give him enough material to keep busy for a while. I look at Valessa and Fortem, and they give me nervous smiles.
Are you ready, Cirrus? I guess this is where things truly begin.
Dimply Orca. Ow! Thank you so much for that follow and welcome to the Doggo Den.
just resubscribed for 35 months. Scrum Doggo love, hope you enjoy the rest of your stream.
Aw, Jolter, thank you so much for 35 heckin' months at tier 1. We're almost at 3 years. Thank you so much for the love and support. And always lurking and vibing when you can. Appreciate you bunches. I hope you're doing well. And that you have a good night if you are heading out.
As a team, we can do this. I'm stronger for having you by my side.
Ulrich takes a few steps back, letting us have our moment. He knew how important this was to the three of us. It was perhaps the biggest moment of our lives.
So, this is it, huh?
She lets go of the blood leaves she held in her hand. The gust of wind from behind us helps them sail down to Mazeo.
Now, it's our turn.
I noticed Fortem wipe his eyes with his forearm. Was he crying? It's probably best not to point it out, as I don't want to embarrass him. He clenches his fists and looks to the sky with closed eyes.
I wish you could be here with us. Don't worry, Mom and Dad. I'll make you proud.
Oh. He turns to us and smiles. Ulrich can tell that the moment is over. Without saying anything, he starts walking down the outlook. For what I can see, a trail takes us all the way to Mazeo. This is it. This was the moment our journey began.
As a group, we headed down to Mazeo, with our resolve peaked. In that moment, it seemed like our goal was both clear and within our grasp. However, Mazeo would soon prove how wrong and naive we truly were.
Alrighty, so we've got some things we can interact with here. Looks like the only thing really, though, because there's no like clicks in the background, is the triumvirate. The triumvirate gathered in their chambers near the glowing idol. With a faint smile on their faces, they gaze deep into its corruption, As nobody else was in sight, they had no need to keep up appearances.
It appears that things have finally begun. Did you have your audience with the Seeress, Master? Yes, indeed. It went just as planned. Doubt is a very powerful weapon. When wielded properly, you are right. Thankfully, we have lots of practice. Perhaps too much?
Right, Mary?
Or at the very least, not enough. But we've waited longer in the past.
One of the triumvirs lower their hood. Taking a deep breath, they sigh in relief.
So, you think this is the end?
When am I gonna get to see your face? The other triumvir follows in turn, lowering his hood. However, their master chooses not to do the same.
I suppose that rests with the Seeress. Let us watch and see what unfolds.
Oh, these cock-teasing bastards! I'm very curious. Mary, I am. Of course that's how they're gonna do it. They're like, ha ha! Bitch, you wish! Bitch, you wish! Oh, a whole new area. A whole new map has opened for us here. All right. All right, so this is, I believe, where we are. Nope. Really? Rezo, why do you say that? As we take our first steps away from Valenorth, I make note of my surroundings. Not much has changed, yet in my heart, I can feel an indescribable difference. Reasons? Fair. Crimson leaves litter the ground, remnants of the earlier spectacle.
Wow, they look pretty cool, huh?
It was definitely a nice send-off. I just hope the Mazaeans aren't afraid.
Why would they be afraid?
You retain knowledge from the books you've read.
Really? But they're just leaves.
So it seems like me being more thorough and knowledgeable, I get to have these responses from like that, basically.
You know how superstitious people can be.
I was taught that they're tears from the spirit realm. You know, the spirits crying out. But I don't know why. Perhaps our parents were reaching out to us.
Case in point, Pro.
Fair enough. Anyway, there was something I had to say. Don't you think it's a little odd to walk around like that?
What, for major, minor?
What? No, that's not what I meant at all. I'm talking about the Blade of Exodus, you know? We need to cover it up so nobody sees it.
That's actually a good idea. We don't know how many eyes will be on us. It might help us get past the gate guard as well.
Yes, Rezo, I am. Also, thank you for the snack.
Yeah, they wouldn't take kindly to seeing that. They're skeptical enough of travelers from Valenorth.
What? But we wouldn't do anything.
That's exactly the point.
No.
People from Valenorth would never harm Mazeo, true. But that's what makes it the perfect excuse for wrongdoers. Say you're from Valenorth and get through without a second thought.
You rest well, Jolfie. Thanks so much for vibing. I hope you get the good sleeps. Listen, Listen, Rezo. Also, Grumble, hello, sweetie. How are you? Rezo, listen. If you were presented with everyone in front of you that has been presented thus far that I have seen, are you telling me you wouldn't do the same? Uh-huh. I didn't say it was, but I'm saying look. 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 Hello, Meows. How you doing? How'd the rest of work go?
That's awful.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're keen on that trick. They'll end up questioning us no matter what we say.
So we need to cover up the blade.
I knew it, Rezo. I knew it. Yeah, I'm doing alright, Grumble. How are you?
Yeah.
I guess it's a good thing I brought this then.
He holds up the cloth that was wrapping the blade in the grand tree. It's large enough that I could wrap it around myself like a cloak. It ain't all man meat, Rezo. Oh, Meows, do you have like, can you soak them? Or keep them propped up?
What do we do if they don't buy it?
Well, I'll play some of my patented charm.
We're doomed.
Vortem and Valessa share a quick laugh while Pro fumes. Glorious, hello, sweetie. How are you? Mary. Ulrich crosses his arm and starts to come up with a plan.
There's still a long way to go, so let's walk and talk. We're losing time, and that's the one thing we can't afford to lose.
Immediately after, Valessa hands me the cloth from earlier. I knew that many people in Museo were part of the rebellion, but not everyone. The gate guards must be an example of those not under Domic's thumb. At least yet.
All right.
Oh, why are you so tired? Listen, I thought my buffet was pretty nice so far, Rezo. I wrapped the cloak around my back and fashioned the top into a hood. The blade of Exodus, as well as my identity, were sufficiently masked. With the small hope that the fast aid will work, we continue towards Museo. Because listen here. Listen. I'm not saying I'm going for pro, but it was fun to tease him. Alright? It was fun to tease him. The way he reacted was golden. No, not the ceiling again! Been a long day and it's late. Oh geez, yeah, no, I can understand. I can understand that. I'm doing well though. Glorious, thank you for asking. Ooh, if it was a buffet, I'd want a pizza buffet, Meows. As Alex left the office, Riz sat in contemplation. It wasn't long before Lilith, his assistant, walked into the room. No worries, Noisy. Oh no, but I don't want it to destroy your tummy. What? Okay, I'll take a drink, stop! Jesus Christ. It was her duty to document and follow up with Grizz after every meeting.
So, how'd it go?
Ooh, Lilith is lovely looking.
As good as it could have, which isn't saying much.
Y'all good? a good question, Mary. Name's Lilith, though. We'll see.
What would you have me put on the record?
Negotiations to resume with more parties present. I think that about sums it up while I gather my bearings.
Very well. And what about off the record? What should I be expecting to come through that door?
Initially, I wanted them to sabotage the Triumvirate's ships, but that was very short-sighted of me. We'll need a naval army, so I tackled things from another angle, securing ships.
That shouldn't be too hard, right? The pirates have an enormous army.
Combined, yeah, but I can't win them all over. Alex and Nada will both be fighting to cut a deal with me, and I'm afraid no matter who we side with, things will change.
Mary.
For who exactly?
Everybody. Lilith, can you send for Damek? He'll need to be present at the final negotiations.
Of course, sir.
I have a feeling he'll be bringing the seer too, Lilith. With everybody under one roof, we can finally make some progress. At the end of the day, Mazeo and the Rebellion will be allied with the pirates.
Never thought I'd see the day. I guess we just have to choose who to side with.
That's why I need to see Damek as well. He'll be leading the final battle, so he needs to choose. I trust his decision and his sense of strategy more than you know.
Should he really be making choices that affect the future of Mazeo?
I think it's in our best interest. Besides, with what's coming, I don't think I'll be here much longer. I only hope that we can leave behind a peaceful future for Mazeo.
So, about that charm.
Yeah?
When are you gonna start turning it on?
It's been on this whole time.
Oh boy.
It's like, oh, yikes.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
It means you think highly of your own ability. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a little too highly.
That's not true.
Oh really? Charm me then.
You mean right now?
Yeah, right here, right now. Shouldn't be too hard for someone like yourself.
Fortem calling his ass out.
Oh, well, just let me think. It takes a bit to get in the groove.
Oh, is that so? Sounds like an excuse to me.
It's not!
Alright then, just hurry it up, Pro. I'd tell you to take your time, but I don't want to die of old age.
May. There's not much to say that you don't already know. It's a trading hub, providing goods and services to Valinor and Alarenthia. But there's a large piracy scene, providing the more illicit goods and services.
I don't know if this is necessarily them trying to romance each other. It's just, these are like the side conversations I can technically quote-unquote eavesdrop on.
The occupation was supposed to make things better, but it didn't. It only created more laws to break, and they haven't even cracked down on them. The mayor has slowly defected to our side after realizing the Triumvirate's true intent. They only wanted the spirit idol hidden underneath Mazeo. We're sure of it. The introduction of law and order to the city of Mazeo was justification enough for them. If they truly wanted to keep Mazeo in line, they'd be enforcing the laws they put in place. His name is Grizz, and he slowly defected to our side. He's a good ally to have, especially with the strings he can pull. I doubt our plans would have gotten this far without his assistance. He took part in the occupation, actually, and slowly realized he was wrong. So that would mean he's been in power for a little over 20 years. He was pretty distant at first, but we slowly got more in touch with him.
Gosh, he sounds like he got a lot closer, like as if he was leaning in to whisper that information to me.
As time passed, he realized he was being lied to. That's what the Triumvirate does. They tell you that you're getting what you want, but it's just a cover to use you. I guess he got fed up and realized that the rebellion could actually deliver. I'd say so, yeah. This isn't a sudden defection or anything like that. It's been slowly happening over the last 20 years. I saw it all. He's truly sorry for what he's done, and now he wants redemption. I guess joining us will help him achieve that redemption. He's just in the unfortunate situation of playing both sides. He does work with the enemy, but his allegiance is with us. I know it. They'd probably kill him. They don't really tolerate that. But it's not very often that somebody goes against their rule. They seem to have a sway over their subjects. It's hard to describe. Like, only now that he's away from them is his mind finally clear. As soon as they find out, I'm sure they'll make him a primary target. I'm willing to bet that they'll send Sovi and his apprentice to do the job. He's really big. He can be intimidating, but his heart is in the right place. You don't really get the politician vibe from him. He looks more like a warrior, but that's kind of the point. The Triumvirate wanted a ruthless man in charge. Just don't judge him based on his appearance and you'll be fine. There's a friendly man underneath that hardened exterior, I promise. If it weren't for his efforts, the rebellion would barely be successful. No, and why would it? It was just a front because they wanted the spirit idol. Mazeo remains largely the same. Attention was just diverted to different areas. For example, trade bans just made the pirates focus on different commodities. They talked a big talk, but they didn't follow through. It was all a lie. For example, the rebellion formed effortlessly under their watchful eyes. Under competent rulers, that never should have happened. See what I'm getting at? How else do you explain the huge underground expedition? If they weren't here, there'd be no tunnels at all. It seems to make sense. Thankfully, we found it first, so it's up to us to make the next move.
Hey Ridley, how you doing?
I can't think of any other explanation, to be honest, so I'm definitely certain. The occupation of Mazeo was just a front for their true goal, the idol. However certain I am of that, I'm still clueless as to why they'd want it.
Yeah, he's like a mercenary.
We had a deal in place with the owner of Mazeo's Tavern. It's not unlike Peregrino, actually, almost existing as a front. But he didn't want to get caught, since things were coming to a head.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear it was another long day, but I'm glad you're doing okay regardless. Getting some good rest? Now, I hope?
So we decided to branch off and find ourselves a new home. That's when Domek set his eyes on the underground tunnels. He'd been going to them for a while to gather his mind in peace.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, Ridley.
Nobody. That's what made the occupation such a good excuse. Before they took over, it was a no man's land. Everybody was free. That had both upsides and downsides. So they capitalized on the downsides.
Yeah, I don't blame you, Stripe. I think daylight savings has really kicked a lot of us in the ass. You go rest well, Glorious. Thanks for vibing. I hope you have a wonderful sleep.
They promised the people a better future, and they just ate it up. Fast forward over 20 years, and they're starting to realize it was a lie. It's helped us get some last-minute recruits, but we can't count on any more of those.
Yeah, same here, Meows. Yeah, I can only imagine, Trey, but it's not a fun time.
Honestly, I'm not sure. We need to think about that when the war is over. We could revert it to the way things were, or come up with a new form of government. I'm sure that whatever happens, though, we can't fully eliminate piracy.
Yeah, you guys have like 2 weeks before it hits y'all, and then we're back to the norm
Even
of.
if we lifted all trading bans, they just continue business as normal. That's what my advice would be. We should legitimize them, put them to work. It's easy to punish them, but there's a whole industry we could tap into.
You guys will get it in 2 weeks' time, and then we'll be back to the normal shift of us being, you know, the normal amount of time apart. Because right now I'm only 5 hours apart from y'all now.
There are two pirate lords, Alex and Nada. They see eye to eye on most things but disagree on others. Still, rather than fight each other, they've come to rule together. Some pirates prefer Alex while others prefer Nada. It's not too complicated, but there's enough drama around piracy to deal with infighting, so they work together.
Thank you for the snack, Vera.
Piracy wasn't his first choice, but he really didn't have any say in the matter. None of the legitimate trading companies would hire him due to his troubled past. He basically takes whatever job he can get, living off of Nada's scraps. A lot of the local pirates follow after his ideals. He doesn't have delusions of grandeur. The goods he smuggles aren't too dangerous either. It's pretty close to an honest living. He just wants the trade bans lifted, to continue doing what he's doing and be accepted. Now, she's a different story entirely. Nothing is off limits for her. She wants money and power. As long as the price is right, it doesn't matter what you want to smuggle, she's your girl. Her vision of the future is different than Alex's. One day she sees herself in charge of Mazeo. A lot of the pirates follow her because she promises them riches and power. Alex doesn't do that. He simply promises them a stable living with the hopes that one day it's made legal. But Nada doesn't care what's right or what's wrong, only about having the most power. I guess she thinks that if you have power, it doesn't matter what you do. While Alex wants to live an honest, legal life, Nada wants to be strong enough to do anything. If you have the whole world in your hand, much like the Triumvirate, no one will stop you. I've never had to think about it, so I don't really have an answer. But I'd probably have to go with Alex. Nada is a bit too ruthless for me. If she was in power, people would be under her thumb, rather than free. Not really. Our previous leader ensured that we stayed well hidden. Not many of the townspeople knew what we were doing. But even if they found out, they sided with us anyway. His name was Salus, and he was a man of pure genius. I know we say that Dominic is a good strategist, but Salus, he was incredible. If it weren't for him, you wouldn't even be wearing that blade on your back. To be honest, if we win this war, it'll all be thanks to him. We have some work ahead of us, but he made it all possible. Not to discredit what you need to do, of course, but you get the idea. It's not that hard to be secretive, especially when you have to be. We never slipped up, precisely because we couldn't afford to. It's also a bit easier with your key players hiding behind positions of power. By that, I mean nobody would question Grizz or the Elder of Valinor. So because of that, him and Salus were able to meet and plan things without suspicion. Essentially, we had the perfect cover. After Salus passed, we just exercised discretion. Yes. With the knowledge I currently possess, yes, I think they would. Over 20 years later, the Mazeans are starting to realize the Triumvirate was lying. They promised to turn Mazeo into a utopia. Just look around when we get there. It's not. Their words seem to mean a lot to people, even if their actions don't follow suit. In my opinion, it's only a matter of time before their promises fall on deaf ears. That is, if we don't take them down first. At least we'll be keeping our promises. Depends what you're wanting to know. Just give me a try. Old enough to be tired of answering that question. I consider Domek and the Rebellion to be my family. If you mean my birth family in Alarinthia, I couldn't tell you. We weren't very close, and I left for the mainland as soon as I could. Depends how much you're paying me. There isn't much to say. He always pops in to mess up our plans. Every time we battle the Honor Guard, he's right there with them. The Triumvirate barely leaves their castle, so he's almost like a stand-in for them. Basically, anytime we're against enemy forces, he's there. But you learn a lot about the man and the way he fights, so I know a lot about him. I've never seen anybody with such strong conviction. He truly believes he's doing the right thing. No, and I think I'd like to keep it that way. Forgive me if I ask you to be more specific.
Ryuji_Shin_Okami just resubscribed for 26 months. Here's to the most sweetest and fresh doggo bean on Twitch. Happy 26 month sub anniversary. Scrum doggo love, scrum doggo heart, 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 scrum doggo love.
Why did it start out so slow and then pick up like that? It's like it was taking the time to jumpstart. Ryuji, thank you so much for the tier 1 for 26 months. I cannot believe it's been that long. Ryuji, thank you so much for the love and support and always being so kind and wonderful to me. Appreciate you bunches. I hope you're doing well. Oh, I imagine 2 hours would be a lot to process. Kinda, Fira. Also, Jason, welcome on in.
I haven't been able to get a good read on her yet, which is rare for me. Normally I'm a good judge of character, but on her I'm drawing a blank. Not to say that's a bad thing, she carries herself admirably, but she's just closed off. At the end of the day, she won't cause me any concern, so that's a good thing. But I find myself wondering why she's so scared to open up. It's not like we'll hurt her. Some might say that's a personality trait on its own, but not me. I like to dig deeper. Honestly, he's a little much, energy-wise, I mean. I used to be like him when I was younger, but it's better to conserve your energy. If you waste it without thought like he does, you won't have it when you actually need it. And that's pretty much why I'm so calm all the time. I'm waiting to put my energy to good use. Normally that good use involves either a fight or some stiff drinks. You'll see. Once we get to Mizeo, there's a tavern that gets my highest recommendation.
It's a good question, Noisy. Also, I think that's kind of mercs in general. They do what they do what they do for money.
We don't seem to get along, but he's actually one of my best friends. He just has this way of poking fun at everybody. It's his way of showing love. With a troubled past like his, I wouldn't be surprised if he thought that's what love is. You're good at following orders, I'll give you that much. I'm not sure if you're just clueless or full of national pride. Either way, it's a good thing. We can't have you full of doubt. It won't be much longer until you can kick back and relax. But when you do, it'll be as Alestia's hero. Think about that. You had a life of luxury just thrown into your lap. I'm jealous. Well, spare time is pretty scarce these days, but I love a good drink. Nothing better than winding down a busy day with some ale, right? Aside from that, I love a good spar, but it's hard to find a challenge. I'm not picky, I just like the effects. The stronger stuff is more expensive, though, and I'm not loaded. Well, unless Dominic decides to treat me, I guess. That's rare, though. There's a huge tavern tucked away in the town square. Best drinks money can buy, and like Peregrino, they have private rooms. Great business model, actually. When you've had too much, they can con you into a room. I'll point it out if I can. Might be a good idea to grab a drink before your training. Dominic has a strict regimen set out for you, but I'll make sure you have fun. Don't worry. Ha, of course! Now you're starting to grow on me. I didn't know you were into that, but I need a good drinking buddy. You can only drink so much alone before it starts to get sad. Yes.
Alrighty, that was a lot.
Wow! Mazeo looks so big, even from this far away. It's easily 5 times bigger than Valenorth.
Try for 10, little one. Just stick by my side and you won't get lost.
Again, I'm not little. And trust me, I'll never get lost. I have a pretty good sense of direction.
Welcome back. It's been good.
Says the guy who got lost on his way home last week.
Valessa, it was dark! You'd have done the same thing in my situation.
Not true. I was home a few hours before you. Just take Ulrich up on his offer, Fortem. He's being nice. Who knows what the pirates would do to you if they found you alone?
Okay, and now you're scaring me. Wow! Mazeo look.
Try for 10.
Again,
Not true.
Okay.
So I guess that's really the only thing. Okay. Cool. Alright, well we did everything here, so. And now head to the main gate. A few hours later, we finally arrive at the gates of Mazeo. There's nobody in sight, save for one lonely gate guard. He stands there, kicking his foot back and forth. Slow day.
Oh, great! It's Carmen!
Who?
Basically, the one gate guard I'm comfortable with. Leave this one to me. We'll be in Mazeo before you know it.
He smirks and starts striding towards Carmen. But before he can get too far, Ulrich grabs him by the shoulder. Holding him in place, Pro protests by squirming and trying to break free.
Hey! Let go! We don't have much time to waste!
There's another way.
Ulrich glances over at Valessa, Fortem, and I. I'm not sure what he meant by another way. Was there something we could do here?
Oh, come on! I had a whole routine worked out, Ulrich. Mine will work for sure. With them, it's a risk.
I just want to see how they handle this. Diplomacy will be really important moving forward. Shouldn't we let them get some practice?
I've have enough of their cryptic conversation and step forward. Asking them what they meant, I politely request an explanation. If there was something they needed to say, there was no point in hiding it.
The new Elder of Valenorth.
Yeah.
He smiles and keeps his gaze set on all three of us. I'm starting to get an idea of what they're talking about.
Fortem, come here.
He looks a bit startled at the sudden demand, but slowly steps forward. I can sense his apprehension at being put on the spot. I know that feeling.
What's up?
This is your first time coming to Mazeo, right? The relationship between both of our nations is important. How we handle this situation could have a big impact.
Really? What do you mean?
Pro wants to lie his way in. That's what he does best. Not that it's a bad thing, of course, it usually works wonders. But at the end of the day, you are the Elder of Valenorth. If you prefer, you can try talking to Carmen. See if you can reason with him and get our entry granted. Your role as the Elder can't stay hidden forever. What would the people think if someone like you was accomplice to deceit? Word has its way of traveling around. It could find its way back to you. Aside from the rebellion, you have to make an impact on Mazeo's people. The question is, what kind of impact should that be?
Whoa, this is way more complicated than I thought.
Everything will be complicated now, Fortem. Don't do anything lightly from this point forward.
Ulrich made a very good point, and we had better give it some thought. Everything we did from now on would affect the relationship between our nations. We were no longer just focused on the rebellion, but Mazeo-Valenorth relations. Right. It seems that Milas' resignation left a lot more responsibility on our laps. I shrug and turn towards Valessa and Fortem. We start to discuss the matter.
What should we do?
I stop and think, but come to a conclusion that I believe it is best. We shouldn't hide our identities, and we should stick to diplomacy. It's better than setting something up that's bound to backfire on us. I turn to Fortem and give him a nod. I guess this would be his first political move as Elder. We just had to hope that Carmen was willing to play ball. He takes slow, nervous steps towards him until Carmen takes notice. When he does, Fortem stops in his tracks, his ears perking straight up.
Entry permit, please.
Oh, Carmen's so cute! Oh my gosh, look at those floppy ears! They're so cute! Oh, I can understand that, Rezo, but oh, such a cute baby!
Wait, what?
You want to get into Mazeo, right?
It's so cute! Was this not in there before, Rezo?
Yes, sir.
Then I need to see an entry permit. I can't just let anybody inside.
Oh yeah? Not even the Elder of Valenorth?
Why, is that you?
Yeah!
Nice try. That's a pretty common excuse today. In fact, I've turned down 3 elders already.
But I'm not lying!
And I'm sure they weren't either. But I can't let you through without a permit. The occupation made us crack down on visitors.
But please! Our business is urgent! If you just let us in, I'll get someone to confirm.
Nice try. You just leave me hanging. Everyone else does. Either present some papers or stop wasting my time.
Seriously, come on!
Fortem, calm down. I can tell that Fortem is getting annoyed. I've never seen him like this. As if to offer assistance, Ulrich steps forward, clearing his throat. Perfect timing too, as Fortem is about to lose his temper.
I apologize on behalf of the Elder. This is his first time traveling. We're not up to any funny business, I assure you. It's an urgent meeting. The national security of Mazeo and Valenorth are both compromised.
Is that so?
Do you have a family, Carmen?
Yeah, I do.
I promise that we're not lying. The Triumvirate is on the move to occupy Valenorth. But in order to do so, they'll have to pass through Mazeo. Your family could be in danger. The attack is imminent. All we ask is that you let us through so we can go about our business. Our matters in Mazeo concern the safety of almost every Alestian. If you don't let us through, a lot of innocent people will die. And trust me, we will make it known that you held us back. Do you really want to go down in history like that, Carmen? Or would you rather go down in history as a hero? The man that allowed us to carry out our mission.
How do I know I can trust you?
You don't. I'm asking you to take a leap of faith. Is it really worth gambling with the lives of your family?
Harmon gulps audibly and shuffles in place.
I think I remember you.
Yeah, I just left for Valinor yesterday morning. I'm not an outsider. Mazeo is my home. Please, let me and my friends protect it.
And you promise not to tell anybody?
I promise. But you should also abandon your post. No need to pass right through these gates. Your life is worth more than this job. Please, get to safety with your family. Do you really think I'm making this up?
I don't know.
If I just wanted entry, I wouldn't care about you. But this is more than that. I want to help you too. I'll tell Grizz right away so you don't get in trouble.
Alright, I trust you.
Harmon steps to the side and stops blocking the gate.
Just don't make me regret this.
You never will.
Ulrich steps back, smiling as he turns to us. It seems Fortem couldn't accomplish this task on his own, but his help was much appreciated, as we couldn't have done this otherwise. Aw, thank you for the pet, Sarah. Or I guess to Lumi, technically.
Wow, Ulrich. Thanks. I was totally drawing blanks. Maybe I'm not cut out for that stuff.
That's preposterous, Fortem. I didn't expect you to succeed. It was your first time. You handled yourself well, and you're gaining experience.
Aw. Also, Showfox, thank you for the noms. He walks away, and Pro approaches the group.
That was pretty amazing. I still think my idea was better, though. I had a whole script in my head and everything.
Fortem shrugs and turns to face the gate. At least his first act as Elder would be an open and honest one. Nah, you're fine. We couldn't say the same thing if we were to align ourselves with Pro.
So, shall we?
He motions to the gate, which is now free for us to enter. After everything we've been through, we were finally here. It was time to get this started and meet Domek. Alright, anything else we can enter with?
So this is the only way to enter Mazeo.
From the Valinor side, at least. The wall stretches to both sides of the mountains. There's no way to get past it, unless you climbed over.
Why didn't we just do that then?
Seriously? Never thought I'd hear you say that. I thought you were pretty much by the books, Valessa.
What's that supposed to mean?
I just didn't think you'd want to break the law. Besides, it wouldn't work. There's guards on the other side. Any hopovers are quickly arrested. And punished, too.
Hopovers?
Yeah, that's what they call them. You build a gate like this, you're gonna get some hopovers. Trust me, they have a counter for every possible scheme.
I guess they've thought of it all. Oh well, nothing we can do about that. Let's just head inside and continue this.
Okay, so let's do Domek's first. I'm sure he does show Fox, given he was going to lie to the guard to get us through anyway. Domek's advisor approached him with a sense of urgency. Having received a summons from Lilith, it was finally time. The future of Mazeo and the rebellion would be decided.
Domek, may I speak with you?
Ooh, hello, Spice. God, I love the colors. I love the colors of the character, especially like the orange that he's wearing.
Oh, of course. Is everything okay?
I believe you've been waiting for this.
He hands Domek the piece of paper in his grip. Soon after, he returns to scribbling in his ledger.
Secure a naval army? That's a lot bigger than our initial plans.
Is it an unwelcome change?
Spy stands waiting, ready to record Domek's response.
No, not at all. We were just planning to steal the Triumvirate ships. While they were busy with Valinor, they'd be unmanned.
Well, Rezo, I'm glad I can show you characters you haven't seen. You probably should.
But this... It could grow our forces exponentially. Especially if the pirates lend us their army.
Not for free, of course. They'll probably rob Grizz blind in exchange. I recommend not offering them any of our resources. We barely have enough food for our own men, and weapons for that matter. We need more of those. Do you think you could spin negotiations in our favor?
Of course I can. I'm nothing if not a good negotiator. It seems like everything is in our favor.
This final clause, however.
The one requesting the Sirius's presence? Pay it no mind, they should be arriving here shortly. In fact, I'll go meet them in the town square right away.
Is their Exodus training regiment finalized? Your schedule should be able to accommodate changes. Your plan is still slow exposure to develop a tolerance, yes?
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. I could only handle it for a mere moment. But I feel stronger, like I could handle more. Of course I'm not going to touch it again. I'm assuming the same rules apply to the CRS. With controlled exposure, they could wield it longer and longer. Long enough to aid our final assault on Bolteus.
I love his angry face so much.
Hey, Pro.
What's up?
That can't be your real name.
Why not?
I mean, it's a little odd.
And Valessa isn't?
You have a point.
But since you asked, it isn't my real name. The truth is, I don't actually know my real name.
How do you manage that?
I'd rather not talk about it, if it's all the same to you. Pro is just something the orphans called me when I was younger. I showed a knack for picking up skills with ease.
Oh, that makes sense.
So you're a pro.
Something like that. Any idea why your parents chose Valessa?
No idea, actually. I never thought to question it, but yours kinda stuck out like a sore thumb.
I'll take that as a compliment. Hey, there's something else in my mind, actually.
Oh yeah? What's that?
What's up with the name Fortem? Like, how is that one even possible?
I've always wondered that.
I mean, you could just ask him.
It's bugging me, and I've only known him for a day. It must bother you so much. You've known him forever.
Yeah, but you're good at getting info, right?
Don't worry, I will sit up and take another sippy.
That's what I've been told.
Maybe we can work together to find this out. I want to know just what Fortem really means.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, to be honest, the name for my character, I just like how it sounded. It wasn't, there's no like deep personal meaning behind it. It just happened to be a name that I liked the way it sounded. I've actually made quite a few characters with like an A at the end of their name. But yeah, I like the way it sounds. That's about the gist of where her name starts and ends.
Okay, let's do it. Pro and Valessa, on the case.
I actually put more thought into the name of one of my Pokesonas, like later on that was created.
Wow, there's so many people in there. And it sounds super noisy. Is it always like that?
Pretty much. But why are we standing here talking about it? You realize we can walk right in and see it, right?
Oh, right. Guess I was just waiting on the Cirrus.
That looks like everything from here. So now we can start our way into Town Square, where we're probably going to be meeting up with Domik. As we take our first steps into Museo, we all pause and examine the surroundings. It's a crowded mess with people running in every conceivable direction. Market stalls are set up wherever there's room, with all sorts of wares.
Wait, I think I see them.
Hi, Darlinor. I did your bat doggo when I was in game. I don't know if you ever caught that. Fortem immediately tries running ahead, enthralled by something he sees. Ow! That was not for you to. Rezo, I swear to God. But before he can get very far, Ulrich grabs him from behind and stops him. With a tight grip on Fortem's collar, it's clear he's not going anywhere.
Hey, what gives?
You can't just run off into a crowd like that, Fortem. You'll get lost, and I don't have the time to find you. Stick close to us. We'll get over there eventually.
All right.
His ears droop down and he starts to mope around, but before he gets too sad, Ulrich reaches into his pockets. Pulling out some coin, he gives it to Fortem with a smile.
Here's some money to spend on whatever you want, but like I said, just make sure you stick close to us. This isn't the kind of place you want to be alone in.
Wow, thanks, Ulrich. I'm gonna look for some apples then. Can you point them out for me so I don't get lost?
Yeah, they should be over there.
Pointing to a nearby market stall, Fortem runs off, jubilant. Free money from Ulrich? He must have taken a liking to Fortem. Either that or he figured somebody needed to keep him in line.
Well, I guess we should keep an eye out for Domik. Knowing him, he's already here waiting for us. Do you see him anywhere, Pro?
There's too many people. Give me a few minutes. I'll find him.
A few moments later, Fortem returns. He's holding an apple, his eyes glistening with happiness. Kira! Kira Halopine, how are you?
Look, I finally got what I wanted. It was so expensive, though. I only had enough for one. Guess I'll have to make it last as long as possible, huh?
Oh, you're fine. How's VR chat going? You hanging with some peeps? You vibing?
Only one? You were conned, Fortem. I should have followed you after all.
Oh god, like everyone. Kira, literally everyone. Literally, my goal is to flirt with everyone. Okay? And so far, I've been doing so. Everyone. Ooh. What show are you watching?
Conned?
Yeah, taken advantage of. The locals know a tourist when they see one. They raise the prices because you don't know any better.
Oh my god, I've seen a bit of that. I haven't watched it in ages because, like, I remember watching that when I was with those who had cable. Because, like, I'd watch a bunch of shows on cable, but it's such a scam to have cable nowadays. So, you know, I use all the streaming services. But yeah, god, I remember that one and a bunch of other things I used to watch.
Mean.
Sorry, it's my fault. For a moment, I put too much faith in the people. At least now you know all of my warnings were true.
Ulrich let out a large sigh and continues scouting the surroundings. He takes a few steps in different directions, as if that helped his search. But Valessa calls out to us shortly after, pointing back towards the gate.
Is that him?
A man that was standing there starts to laugh and approaches us. He was standing with his back against the gate, out of sight. Aw, hell yeah. Yeah, currently the only thing that I have is, so we have Netflix, we have HBO Max, we have Amazon Prime stuff, and then we also have Crunchyroll for like anime. I've been watching a really cute anime recently. He was standing with his back against the gate, out of sight. It was a perfect hiding spot, since we'd be looking ahead.
I just wanted
and
to
you
see
can,
if you'd notice
MMX.
me, actually. You've got a good eye on you. Valessa, right?
Yeah, Valinor Scribe. Pleased to meet you, Dominic.
And I'm Fortame, the Elder. We've heard a lot about you, actually.
All nonsense, I'm sure.
After smiling at Valessa and Fortem, he approaches me.
And you must be the Seeress. It feels like I've been waiting forever to meet you. Honestly, the last little while has been so hectic.
He blushes, and I can tell he's extremely nervous. It's odd, because he greeted Valessa and Fortem with ease. It humbles me to see a man of such importance treat me this way.
I almost can't believe this is happening. It's an honor to meet you, Seeress. It truly is.
He's very cute. I love his expression so much. I didn't picture the... Yes, more flirting options.
What? Oh, cut it out. There's no need to say things like that. Trust me, you're already on my good side.
His blush is by far one of the cutest. I reach out to shake his hand, but he immediately pulls back. With a nervous laugh, he rubs the back of his head. Did I do something wrong? Shh, Ressa. He seemed excited to meet me, so I assumed a handshake was in order.
Anyway, shall we get going? We have quite a busy day ahead of us.
He starts walking, expecting us to follow. But as soon as he gets to Pro, he stops in his tracks.
Oh, just one more thing before we move along. You'll be on cleaning duty for the next month, Pro.
Oh boy.
What? What did I do?
It's more about what you didn't do, and the answer to that is everything. I ended up sending Ulrich to pick up your slack.
Oh boy. Keep clicking the wrong.
We can't afford to waste time anymore. I'm sure you had your reasons, but...
Yeah, and they were really good reasons. I couldn't just march into Valenorth with a blade. I need to have some discretion. It took time.
Really, Pro? You know you can't just throw excuses at me. I know how this stuff works. You were lazy.
He let out a loud sigh while Pro shuffled in place, ashamed.
Ugh, I suppose it's my fault in the first place. I should have known better than to send you there. With a tavern in the way, your priorities would be clear.
After their spat, Dominic turns to face me with a smile. Even when he was scolding, it was polite. That's interesting. I can start to see why people would like to follow him.
Anyway, we have some business with the mayor. Let's head to his house. I'll explain there. After that, I'll give you a tour of our HQ.
Plans with Grizz. Is it about the pirates?
I said I'd explain when we get there, Ulrich. We can't talk about this kind of stuff out in the open. Finish up whatever business you have, and we'll get going.
With that said, I guess it was time to head to the mayor's house. I knew nothing about Museo, so I didn't know if this was a detour or not. But either way, my training with the Blade of Exodus would surely begin today. You're fine, Noisy. Typing can be a bitch sometimes, and autocorrect is also a bitch. I look at Valessa and Fortem, and we nod at one another. I guess I'd finish up any business here, then follow Dominic. My legs are tired, but it feels like our trek was almost over. Alright, so let's take a look around. Oh, Dominic has now permanently joined your party. A new statistic, morale, has also been unlocked. Troop morale is at 90%. Morale will rise and fall over the course of the game. Your army and their welfare will be affected by your choices. Ensure a high morale, or your forces may not survive the coming war. Good God! There's so much to take in with this game!
Wow, you can buy weapons here? I mean, they're just laying out in the open.
Yeah, you can buy anything in Mazeo. If it's not legal, then the pirates can get it for you. They call this place the Town of Infinite Connections.
Wow.
Hey, that one looks like your sword, Ulrich. Did you buy your sword from one of these places?
No, my sword is ancient. Rumor says it belonged to an Alarinthian legend. With just how well it's made, I think that's actually true.
Wow, a legend? Explains why you carry it around all the time.
Yeah, I'd hate to leave it unattended. Even when I carry it, people beg me to sell it. But it beats leaving it alone and risking theft.
Yeah, I can see why Noisy for sure.
So you've used that sword for your entire life?
I have, and I'll use it for the rest of my life too. It shows no signs of wearing down. It's perfect. I can't say the same about the ones they have for sale.
Ulrich motions at the market stall that initially got Valessa's attention. The merchant glances over at us, understanding Ulrich's accusatory gesture. We quickly run away from the stall before they can speak or chase after us.
Wow, you can buy weapons.
Yeah.
Hey,
No.
what?
Yeah.
So you...
How far back does this town square go?
To be honest, it almost doesn't stop. Mazeo is pretty much one huge market. There's a few residential areas, but they're tiny.
That's insane!
Yeah, but you get used to it.
Where do the people live then?
Most of them have small beds behind their market stalls. Those that are lucky enough to own an actual shop live inside of it. If you want to live in Mazeo, you need to sell something of value.
Or offer your services, like me with my sword on.
Yeah, you need to do something to make money. If you live in a residential area, that means you're rich. It's a sign of wealth. Like, you don't need to work anymore.
I'm guessing not everybody gets that far.
No, most people live on a day-to-day basis. If they don't sell something that day, they don't eat.
Yes. Yes, I'll be one of those, I'll be one of the beans playing with him on Saturday.
That's crazy. In Valinor, we share everything. We'd never stand by while citizen starves.
Yeah, you have it pretty good in Valinor. But this is what I like to call the real world, Valessa. Valinor was special. The rest of the world is more like this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm a huge fan of survival games, so, and especially ones with friends, so it sounds right up my alley. No worries, Mary. Thank you so much for vibing as long as you did. You have a good rest, okay?
Hopefully we can change that. Where do you think we'll be living after the war?
If we survive, anywhere we want.
Hey, this is where I got those apples. Still wish they didn't end up scamming me.
You can never trust anybody around here. Even I get taken advantage of sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, I can let my guard down too. So don't feel bad about your mistake, Fortin.
This is good advice here. You learn from your mistakes. You really shouldn't beat yourself up about them because it's called rock hoppers. Firework.
If anything, he learned an important lesson. Should we go complain? Maybe he can get his money back.
There's no point. They'd never give it back. We'd only end up bringing more attention to ourselves. I think we'll just have to chalk this one up as a loss.
Also, Rock Hopper streaming. Ow! Thank you so much for that follow and welcome to the Doggo Den. Welcome on in.
Alright. I'm sorry.
I can see that. Hi. Hello.
You didn't do anything wrong. They did. I'll buy you more apples when I get a chance. The money I gave you could have easily bought 10.
Oh, come on. He got scammed out of 10 to 1. Poor Fortem.
10?
Poor Fortem. Oh my god. He got really, like, wrecked. I noticed Fortem standing at one of the market stalls, enthralled. I take a few steps forward to see what he's looking at, and nobody follows me. It seems they're willing to give us some time alone now that we're in Museo.
Hey, Cirrus, check this out.
He points to a bunch of strange metal objects attached to rope. If I could describe them as anything, it would be metallic claws. I have no idea what they are, however, or why he was so taken by them.
You know, when I climb trees, it's hard to get a grip. But with these, I can just stab them into the tree and hold on. I didn't know these existed.
Oh.
It would make things so much easier.
They're hooks, basically. He shuffles in place, thinking to himself.
You don't think that would hurt the trees, do you?
I would say it might, because sometimes if there are certain trees that it would be weak to.
Oh, I guess you're right. Especially since spiritual energy is stored inside of trees. Or at least, that's what they say. I wonder, though.
He leans a bit closer to the market stall, looking for a price.
And of course, there's no price on them. Probably so they can scam people, too. I'll have to get Ulrich to figure this out.
He smiles and laughs softly before turning to face me.
You know, these markets are pretty cool. What do you think about them, Cirrus?
I mean, I'm going full flirty.
Oh, is that what this is? Well, I did want to have some private time, actually. Hey, I have an idea. Cirrus, follow me over here.
He grabs an apple out of his pocket and gives me a sly smirk. It's the one Ulrich bought for him. He must have not eaten it yet. As he runs away, I follow him, and we end up in a nearby back alley.
See? Much better. I can actually hear myself think now. Let's grab a seat and relax. We deserve it.
Aww. He motions to the ground. It didn't seem comfortable, but it would do. Also, Dive Bomb, thank you for the self-care check. 1 sec. Thank you. I sit down and rest my back against the wall. He promptly sits down beside me. Holding out the apple, he inspects it, almost like he's a bit hesitant to eat it.
I wonder if it'll taste like I remember. It's only been around 20 years after all. Hey, let's share it. You should try some too.
Aw, he's gonna share his apple with me. He giggles nervously and places his head on his shoulder. Or on my shoulder.
You said this was a date, right? Imagine how mean it would be if I didn't share. Besides, I'd like to spend this moment with someone special.
Aww. After a brief pause, he lets out a sigh of relief. I guess he was worried that the physical contact might not be okay. Holding up the apple, he inspects it one final time, blushing.
Here goes nothing.
Moments after, he takes a large bite. Juices drip down his chin as he shakes with excitement. The look on his face tells me that it's every bit as good as he remembers.
Wow. You have got to try this, Cirrus.
He holds it up, offering it to me. I never got to try these when I was younger, but Fortem always spoke the world of them. Accepting it with a smile, I grip it in my left hand. To make Fortem more comfortable, I wrap my right arm around him. He leans in closer, letting out a noise I can only describe as happy and content. With a large crunch, I bite into the apple. The sweetness immediately assaults me. It's overwhelming and my eyes shoot wide open. It's shocking and delicious. I always doubted that they'd be as good as he said. I was unequivocally wrong.
See? I told you, it was totally worth the wait.
I nod and hand the apple back to him. Ashley also does stuff. Oh! Thank you so much for that follow and welcome to the Doggo Den. Welcome on in. We share it with each other, taking turns until it's gone. After placing the core on the ground, he rests his head on me once more.
But so was this.
Aww. So cute! He gulps, as if he's nervous.
You know, I've never been on a date before. Honestly, this doesn't feel any different from normal. I guess that just means we're comfortable with each other.
Yes.
But do you think the other people will be comfortable with this? I don't think a seer has ever dated an elder before. I hope we're not doing anything wrong. Oh, okay. That's a relief. To be honest, I've always wanted to do this, but I was scared. I guess I'm thinking about things differently now. You know, there's so much going on lately. It's nice to just put it all on pause with someone like you. I feel like I could stay in this alley forever. It's peaceful. But I don't want to rush into anything, you know? So let's take this one step at a time. Slowly. Sharing this apple was good enough for me.
Oh, he is. It's adorable. Yeah. Why does it keep doing that? I'm going to save anyway since it did that. He releases his grip on my arm and stands up.
Back to business, I guess? But mark my words, I'm gonna get that climbing gear. And a second set, too. I'll make an apprentice out of you yet.
Aww. He smirks and runs back out into the markets. I follow after him, and we regroup with everyone else. That was a nice distraction, but it was time to get things back on track. Yeah, the hard tarts are great.
Hey. Well, it all depends on what you'd like to know. I mean, I'm an open book, but I don't know where to start. Feel free to throw a few questions at me. I'll play along. 27. Not too young, not too old. I'm in the perfect place to be leading this army. A lot of the other victims were far younger than me. And those that weren't were far older. They took on more of a caregiver role. Plenty of orphans needed plenty of parents. I must have been 6 or 7 years old. A lot of the details are like a blur in my head. Maybe my mind did that on purpose, you know. But I was rescued by a small group of townspeople. After the battle died down, they started picking up the scraps. The rebellion wasn't formed just yet. That was just starting. Salus, the previous elder of Valinor, came to visit. The treaty and the rebellion were formed shortly after. I had no place to go. And no family. I was forced to fight. But that's not really a bad thing, you know. I'm pretty strong now. Trained for almost any scenario. I just wish I didn't have to miss out on a regular childhood. Oh, of course not. I don't have time for that. I mean, maybe when this war is over or something, but right now? I'm far too busy with everything else. And, truth be told, I wouldn't even know where to start. The orphans of the occupation were taught war, not love. Other than fighting this battle, I'm not meant for much else. I don't really have time for hobbies, to be honest. Unless the war table or sparring counts as hobbies. After this war, maybe I'll pick up a few pastimes. But right now, I really don't have the time. I've been training and working since I was a kid. They had no hesitation in letting a child wield a sword. Well, almost everything, I'd assume. I was one of the founding members with Salus. I guess they like that term more than child soldier. When the Triumvirate took over Mazio, they had one goal: dig deep underground and find the true spirit idol of this nation. they made the honor guard do this, those empty suits of armor. But while they dug, they also created a sort of barracks down there. I'm not sure why, because the honor guard couldn't make use of it, but I'm assuming it was for when real people came for inspections. Either way, they basically turned it into a paradise. Beds, weapons, training rooms, a war table, everything. When I first saw it, I knew I had to win it for the rebellion. Thankfully, Grizz had been turning to our side. It wasn't hard to woo over the mayor and get the deed. His only condition was that he got access to the idol first.
I feel you on that, Drake.
I'm not sure what he wants to do with it, but he can't really do anything if I'm honest. Not without you or the Blade of Exodus.
So you just missed a really cute scene.
Salus? Well, he was a father figure to a lot of us. That's probably why his sacrifice hit us all so hard. You do remember that he was the Elder of Valenorth, right?
He was we had a cute little mini date with Fortem. He shared his apple with us.
It's not like he took on a secret double life. He was still the same. If anything, at least now you have an explanation for his trips. He was helping out the rebellion and Valenorth. That's a tall order.
It was adorable.
Salus saw the chaos and destruction in Mazio and wanted to help. In fact, even some people from Valenorth were here during the occupation. He likely discovered what happened by inquiring after their disappearance. Either way, he quickly met with a band of survivors and orphans, offering them funding and protection. The seeds were planted. They became an organization with a goal. They had a purpose. Salus likely knew that Valenorth would be occupied as well, so training an army to enact revenge would benefit both nations. They established Peregrino as a central location, and here we are. Over the next 20 years, the orphans grew stronger. As soon as we were battle-ready, we launched the Exodus Raid. Salus told me more about you, and I took over when he passed. Several hundred, but under 1,000. We're a fully realized army, and I know we can do this. With you and that blade, our victory is pretty much secured. It's wonderful. Everybody is in a great mood. We have the numbers and the strength to put up a fight. But on top of that, we have you and the Blade of Exodus. When you're trained with it, you can lead the final battle. That blade isn't just a weapon, but a symbol of hope. It sets us apart from every previous insurrection. With its power, you'll be unstoppable. I hope you're ready to go down in history as a hero. The woman who changed Alestia forever. We don't know too much about them, to be honest. They're shrouded in mystery and only rule from their chambers. We've tried to coax them out, but so far nothing has worked. Not a clue. It's anyone's guess. Hopefully we'll find some answers after all this is over. There's got to be some record of their past, right?
Ooh, that look of discomfort. I'm gonna boop you back, Ryuji.
At least that's what I'm hoping for. But I'll have to be content if we never find out. My main goal is liberating Alestia and gaining freedom. At least as old as Alestia, or something like that. History seems to have begun when they did. Either that or they covered up the past. There's no record of history prior to their rule, so that's why everybody regards them as gods. But there's more to the story. I can feel it in my gut. No, we just know that they wear white and gold cloaks. This is from reliable first-hand accounts, of course. Some people have met them and lived to tell. Underneath those cloaks, however, is anyone's guess. Some people even theorize that there's nothing underneath. That's pretty scary if you ask me. They'd be like living spirits. I think so. As far as we know, they've had it forever. Ancient writings and murals have depicted the blade. We still don't know for sure, though. They could have found it.
Riku, thank you for the lovely good vibes. I really appreciate that. I mean, so do I, Galaxies. But thank you for those good vibe, Riku. I hope that you're also having a lovely night as well.
What we need to worry about is the power the blade houses. It gave them the power to enslave an entire world of innocent people. We must never resort to the same thing. I want to destroy it when this is over. I'd like to think so, yeah. It's actually a bit ironic, isn't it? Their own weapon, used against them.
Nice. I'm curious about what the mix of pain is and if it was from Crisis Core or from Power Wash.
As soon as you learn to use it, we'll be good to go. I have no doubt in my mind that it's strong enough. You were chosen by the spirits for this destiny. Sure. What would you like to know? Well, I don't really know anything about her yet. But I'd like to change that if I get the opportunity. I think she seems like a wonderful person.
Oh, hard mode. Yeah, I get you.
He seems really, energetic. Honestly, you'll have to ask me again in the future. We just haven't had the chance to hang out just yet. Ulrich is one of my best friends. He really is. There's no man I'd rather have at my back in battle. He saved me from dying more times than I can count.
Aww.
The rebellion basically hinges on my planning and his strength. He'll be at the front of every charge, I can guarantee that much. There's no man in this world quite as strong as him. Right now, I'm a little upset with him, but I'll manage. He's my go-to man when something involves being sneaky. His reconnaissance work has been a great boon to our efforts. I suspect that you'll be working with him closely in the future. A lot of our final attack on Balteus will involve a stealthy infiltration, but we'll get to more of that in the future, so no need to waste time on it now. Well, I wouldn't know where to start. You're such an important figure to both me and my army. But to Alestia, you're going to be known as their savior. I have to admit, you're a bit different than I expected. All this stuff had me thinking you'd be larger than life. But I guess that's my fault. You're just a normal person. The thing that makes you special is on the inside, not the outside. I guess it just benefits us that not everybody can see that, right? We wouldn't want you to be a walking target for the enemy to find. Sure. Anything specific? Well, I'll have you rest for the day. Then we'll start training you with the Blade of Exodus tomorrow. I think that slow exposure therapy will be the best possible approach. As you build a tolerance for its power, you'll be able to wield it longer. Of course, you'll also be training in the basics of swordplay. Ulrich will make sure that you learn everything you need to. We have the benefit of foresight here. We know the Triumvirate will be busy with Valinor. You can train, and we can attack Balteus right under their noses. Yeah, and it's something you'll be hearing more of. We have some stuff to take care of for now. You'll get used to the war table, trust me. Probably in chaos and disarray? We can't expect the people to embrace the new leadership, but we'll do our best to win them over and cater to their desires. Anything we can learn about the Triumvirate will also be useful. If we can prove that they're frauds, the people will accept us easier. The only question is, how in the world do we go about doing that? Either way, we'll have lots of work ahead of us. Winning this battle doesn't mean we can sit back and rest. We'll have an entire world to rule and reform. I can't wait. You mean imbue it with spiritual energy? I'm not sure. But I wouldn't classify your nation as dead. Not just yet. The power inside of you is proof that we can redirect it. If the spirits can move power from the land to an individual, well, there's no reason to believe that the reverse isn't possible. That blade is capable of so much. I think it will be the key to all of that.
There's no book here, so I think that might be everything in this area. Yep, to the mayor's house. Actually, I think this will be a good time to wrap it up. We can do the mayor's house next time.